coaches in the history of sports and our favorite basketball coach.
How do you know that?
It's not even close. The great Mick Cronin. Final Fours. Chesting people down in the Pac-12. Now the Pac-2. Wait till I tell you, Coach, about the Pac-2 reception in Las Vegas.
Oh, you went to a private Pac-2 dinner.
I got to hear this story.
I did not last long. It is our hero.
What is this, Will?
Well, drinks. I'm out of here. The great Mick Cronin, and I don't know if he works out his horses over here at the Burbank Equine Center, but no stranger to I'm a Horse Monday.
I'm a horse.
On the Petros Money Show, UCLA head coach, Big Ten bound.
I heard he arrived on horseback. Quicker than dealing with the 405.
What's cracking, Coach? How are you? Welcome to the show. Thanks for doing it. Sorry, Vic.
It's good to be here, guys.
It's great to have you.
It's good to be here. I should have timed this up. I could have played Lakeside today.
Well, yeah.
Not a blade of grass out of place there.
Get out there with Bob Hope, shoot around.
Kevin Bailey has been there 35 years. The pro at Lakeside.
Oh, wow.
He's a diehard Bruin.
If you ever want to be depressed, they have the Southern California Broadcasters dinner there once a year. And
depressed that you're not a member?
No, we're members.
We're members.
We got an award one year, and they misspelled my name
on the award.
They brought it over here from Lakeside. Remember that? We did a public execution.
Just, sometimes you're in an industry and you look around and you're like,
yeah,
these are my colleagues.
I don't want to be this
These are my contemporaries, huh? This is the industry in which I work.
You ever been to a boxing press conference? It kind of feels the same.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very similar.
I have done one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you know what the underbelly of the society looks like. Mick Cronin is our hero. He leads up one of the most iconic basketball programs in the history of the world, if not the most. What is this time of year like for guys like you? You don't have to get all suited and booted, but it feels like you're pretty busy.
Put my coaching hat back on. Take off in the spring, I'm general manager.
Okay.
So, but look, there's no difference anymore, guys. Now I'm here, we got time. I mean, there's just no difference anymore, really, between college and pro sports. Where the rules
like free
are.
Agency kind of thing, or
it's just the way it is. I mean, it's just
you're like signing contracts instead of recruiting?
I said that in the spring, and I think people were kind of alarmed. But it's just taking people, it's really hard for everybody to get their head around where it's at. That you're a free agent every year, if you want to be. Or you can, before you put your name in a portal, you may say you want to negotiate with your current school to re-sign.
Right.
I mean, this is literally where it's at. So when I tell you, you're general manager and owner, of course, we have to raise the money to pay our guys. Now, at the end of the show, you guys, that's all going to change because they're going to get what we raise for them, and they're going to get paid by the school.
Right.
But it's very real. Like, we have a board. How much you're going to allocate to your supposed main guys, what tier of players.
How did you get that done so efficiently? No, seriously, this offseason.
6 guys, I think?
I mean, because you really got that done where it looked like, oh, my God. And at UCLA, we know it takes 5 signatures to get a new pencil sharpener. Seriously. So how were you able to do that in the context of what you're really supposed to be doing, which is coaching college basketball?
Yeah, well, the job description changed. So, and sure, look, I was, what's funny, we just, to wrap up our season, I was really proud of our guys who finished 5th in the Pac-12. We were just, in this era, you cannot play where your best players are all freshmen, sophomores. You just cannot do it. Like, it was hard enough 5 years ago. You cannot do it right now, but still with 5th-year guys, and everybody else just gets older in the portal. So I was proud of those guys, but, look, to answer your question, we had to get to the point where we were financially able to get in the game. I mean, you got to get in the game. I mean, I have all these college coaches, friends of mine, say things to me, like, because I had made a statement. People say, well, you chose to get freshmen. No. The Reds didn't choose to pass on Shohei Ohtani. There's a reason he's with the Dodgers.
Right.
And it's obviously $700 million. So, I mean, we were able to get in the game, and we're in the game now. You still got to get guys admitted to UCLA, but there's so many guys in the portal that there's a part of it I like, because you get a chance to try to pick guys. Not only are they older, They've maybe been through some things, and they're looking for somebody to actually tell them the truth. Where the high school recruit is still, nobody's ever told him the truth. Everybody's still telling him how great he is. And because if they don't, he transfers high schools. And if they don't, he leaves AAU teams. And they've probably done that anyway because they got a better offer. I mean, it's just the world of grassroots basketball as a whole, literally a world of unto itself. So the older kid is at a point maybe where it's like, all right, you know, what do I want? Is it money? Do I want money? Do I want to win? Do I want somebody can also help me get better? By the way, I can get a degree at UCLA. Not a shabby thing. So so you kind of got a chance to get guys that are ready to act like men. They're a little bit older. So yeah, to your point, we got 7 guys when the season was over, and it was a grind. You know, I've never done this, but speed dating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like speed dating. Like bang, you know, it's literally a 2-week recruiting period to where you're on with them, you're Zooming, you might Zoom again, next thing you know, they're visiting. And then it's, you know, here's the offer, and you got 24 hours to take it because you can't shop me around.
Say hi to your mother, Stephanie. No, it's Stacy. Oh, son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah, you got to have cards. There's so many, you know, but because, it's like the baseball winter meetings. That is the spring right now. That's what we just went through. And people, you know, I talked to like a lot of the great players of yesteryear that played at UCLA, whether it's from Don McClain to Tracy Murray to Mike Warren. And it's like, it's so mind-boggling for these guys.
I can imagine.
Of how it is now, and just the whole process of it all. So that's just where. So you have to embrace your job has totally changed. So now though the roster is set, and get to switch and be the coach again. We just started last week, a week from So our summer 8 weeks. You get 8 weeks.
You get 8 weeks. You know what? I'll start with the kids because I've just as a father that's got college-age kids, I remember, I was kind of in that sweet spot of when people in California were pretty pissed about how hard it was to get into UCs. And
they still are, I think.
Oh, they still are. But I'm thinking about, like...
If you're 6'8", it's different.
I'm thinking about the standout kids you mentioned. It's hard to win with freshmen. Now, you got 3 kids coming in, 2 out of Harvard Westlake, 1 out of Corona Centennial. We have great high school basketball in Southern California. I would imagine,
And those are probably the 2 best programs.
So how does it work where you still want to probably get your hands on these kids, right, and get them into the system and develop them yourself? But
on the high school level for us, it's a huge emphasis now because you're gonna and trying to put yourself in a position to win a championship every year or compete or be able to get to a Final Four. You're going to have to replace your better players from within your program, but also with some older transfers. And when you got to be in a position, you have to be in a position to raise money to be able to get the best of the best when it comes to that. And the right fits and all that. Well, those guys are going to cost money. It's going to be hard to add that guy in as a freshman. You saw what we went through last year.
Yeah.
I think what you might be getting at, though, is, the bigger picture is a trickle-down effect of, where if you it's just basic numbers. Eventually you're going to lose a lot of guys. You're going to have to sign 6 freshmen, unless you get some JUCO guys. Well, those days are all over. Nobody's doing that. This is not happening. So you're getting 2 freshmen and 3 transfers if you got to get 5 guys. So there's 3 less scholarships maybe per recruiting class per school in Division I going to a high school player. So ultimately, look, it's musical chairs, right? So if there's 360 Division I teams, okay, so they all have 13 scholarships. So, if they all had 10, that would be 3,600, right? So, you're dealing with, like, say, 4,200 scholarships, roughly. Well, if they're being occupied by transfers, see what I'm saying?
Right. It's like there's nothing left.
There's 1,000 or so kids not going to get a Division I scholarship that did before the portal, that did get a Division I scholarship. So what happens now is they go Division II.
And that's like you got the kid coming from South Dakota They develop.
Exactly.
And then
South Dakota State. Great program. Right. William Kyle's he's a veteran player, defensive player of the year in his league. He's an adult. Right. He's polished. I mean, you get to pick, right? A great family, great kid, perfect fit. We need an athletic rebounder to go with a Daimara. So you can kind of put your roster literally on the board, what we'd like to have, and go buy it. And I know people think that's crazy. The guy UCLA coach just said, go buy players.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
On Petros and money. But that's what, it's what it is.
All the way above board. Mick Cronin is our guest on the SoCal Toyota Dealer Celebrity Headset. He's in here in studio.
In the house.
So that being said, football is really that way, and I'm sure basketball's crazy in the same way. It's what's it like to have somebody else develop your guy?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was kidding.
Like she was married before,
Yeah. Again, you get to pick where you're getting them from. So are you getting a guy that maybe you think you could coach him in a different way and he might be better? Or you're picking guys from, like you mentioned, South Dakota State. They're a big winning program at their level. So the kid's a winner. He's been part of winning culture. So all that's a part of it. The funny part is I was kidding around with Russell Turner down at UC Irvine's a great, great coach, arguably the best coach in the Big West or one of them. And
nice head of hair, too.
Great hair. And he says, I said to him, I'm thinking about raising money for your NIL. He goes, I'm all for it. He knew where I was going. I'm going to send a couple players to Irvine, and
you're going to develop them
and have their NIL paid for you. You get them. Go ahead, start them. Try to win the Big West with them for a couple years.
Until they're ready for me.
I know we're being funny, but if I had the extra NIL money,
you'd do it,
right?
Well, sure.
It's it'd be like your G League team.
It should be like putting a guy in JUCO back in the day,
right?
When there was a lot of junior college guys or G League. But yeah, back in the day, kid didn't have academics. You placed him in a JUCO and got him back. So why wouldn't you place him with a great coach? Get him in the UC system,
sure,
right? So when it's now, I'm super fascinated now when you say buy players. So let's say okay, we've got to find a complement to a day. That's what we're going on. Do you then assign a numerical number like, hey, for this position, I've allotted $800,000. Now I need a wing score. I'm gonna need 1.1 million for. Is it that? Because I would assume you've got to split the nut up a certain way, and you know what each guy is going to cost you for that position.
So the first year it all happened, we couldn't compete financially. This year we could, and it went up from the guys. It went way up this past year from the year before.
Great.
Because people are competitive, they want to win. All it takes is a big money guy like Petros to say, hey, Mick, let's win it all, baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to write you a check. Let's do what we got to do.
I'm like that guy at Arizona, when Fish left. I can get angry. I use my money with my anger.
There we go.
And we keep the quarterback and the long wide receiver. But do you have to sit there with that guy and be like, hey, here's what I need?
Yeah.
Would you like some more cream spinach?
Right. Fortunately, I have not. Our supporters aren't like that. So the people that have stepped up for us, they kind of know. I'd rather probably we would lose before I had some banker telling me how to coach.
Are you allowed to connect with them?
Oh,
okay, so it's fine. You guys can all.
That's who's doing it.
Right, but I didn't know if you could communicate with them and tell them exactly or how those rules work. So who makes the deal and who doesn't.
There are no rules.
None.
So where we're at is there were. And when this was all put in, there was an intention. NIL was supposed to be fair market value. You cannot offer and induce players in recruits. That's what the original rule was put in. Tennessee then got a letter that they were going to be investigated. They got to their attorney general, and the NCAA just stopped. It all stopped because they can't lose any more lawsuits. They just can't. That's why you could transfer one time. The wide receiver at North Carolina fought that.
Yeah, transfer forever now.
They lost.
And they lost. They can't lose. Right. Look, guys, we were almost at extinction. That's what we have to figure out the settlement and pay where the players are going to get paid a percentage of the revenue And it's coming. I mean, the number's 22 million. And, it's just reality, and it's coming. The CFP money with the expansion to 12. People say, why are they going to 12? They need the money to pay the players because they got to settle these 3 lawsuits, and they've agreed, but now the judges got to accept it. And there's a lot of I's got to be dotted, T's got to be crossed, and the people are trying to say, look, when you talk about what's going on, Charles Baker's the head of the NCAA right now. He's trying to save college sports.
Whatever happened to Norman Dale's picket fence?
Exactly.
I mean, where are we?
Dude, how they say the ship has sailed? We can't even see the port.
Yeah, what a trip. So for you, your job
crazy.
After all this, like you said, you get to be a coach again, is to build a basketball team.
Yeah, I'm back to that.
So you have a percentage of your players developed by someone else, transfer guys that you really want there. You paid money for them. You got a percentage of your players who are new guys, freshmen, what you're used to, a new class every year, and a percentage of your players who were pretty good contributors from last year.
Yeah.
How do you push them all together?
Well, that's the exciting part.
Right.
So my guy, Coach Roberts, is on Lakeside guy, by the way.
Okay, another Lakeside guy.
I think he just got in last week, but they
good sponsor. We'll get you in.
He's gonna. I just play as his guest. I'll bring him to El Cab.
Don't have the membership. Know a guy that has the membership.
Exactly. No
That's
need. Right. So
exactly.
America's guest.
That's
so
right.
You guys know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
So they it's look, at the end of the day, as I said with pro sports, you got guys, you got team players you drafted and came up through your system. Other guys you added as free agents. That's when I refer. So the development, some are through you, some are free agency, but you get to pick those. So that that's not a bad thing, when you're picking from old. So you're picking young guys, it's a hit or miss more, you get to see a finished product a little bit more. So, and then they're, guys are making money. So it's just extremely similar. Look, the line between amateur and pro, forget, the fact of making money, but it's looking the same. The jobs are looking the same. The difference is I got to raise my payroll right now. No, that's the hardest part. So, Martin Jarman's really helped me in the last year, our development department at UCLA. And we've had some key people step up. They don't like to be named. That got added onto the job title. Some places they may just do it for you. I like being here, so it is what it is.
So you got to ask people for money, which is not ideal.
I usually do that after the 18th hole.
That's right. Hey, there you go. Hey, are there teams are there schools that get in and you're like, we're out? Where their coffers are so much deeper than everybody else's. It's a waste of my time.
A little bit, maybe one or two right now that are playing. That kind of stretched it. The interesting thing with this is, we'll say, well, how do you know? Nobody knows, because all these NIL collectives have kids sign confidentiality agreements.
Right. So
the losing school leaks something out, and stuff like that. So nobody really knows. That's the other, again, in pro sports, contracts are on the table, right? That's Ohtani got $700 million.
Yeah, you know what the number is.
Nobody knows the number.
Unless they brag about it in the locker room and cause division on the team.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. Hey,
you're getting nothing and you're bragging about it?
For what these guys are getting, nobody should be unhappy. You understand, for what Jaime Hawk, I don't want to hear anybody unhappy, because I know Jaime got nothing for 3 years and he got like $40,000 his senior year. So I don't want to hear anything, because he played in a summer league game the other day, looked like Michael Jordan.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I called him. I said, "Get the hell out of it. What are you doing there?" He said, "They asked me to play twice."
Yeah.
He was already there practicing against the Olympic
Get Khalil Ware right, and then get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Teach him how to work. So as well, if heart transplants were just that easy, within athletes.
Well, and that's someone that came up through the program, and now you're asking that guy to have heart that's going to be here for a year.
Yeah. But there's guys, we've had some great one-year Bruins, over time. Just Kevin Love and off the top of my head and Lonzo Ball were both Pac-12 player of the year. I know Kevin was. Lonzo should have been if he wasn't. Because I played him in the NCAA tournament, saw his stats. But look, again, you're picking the guys. You're allowed to pay them, so you can pick them. But back to Petros, you were talking about now it's time to put a team together. And
right.
Look, at the end of the day, you got to get guys that want to win. And I'm pretty transparent with who I am and how we roll, that we're going to play to win. So, like, if you're on a personal agenda and winning's not a part of it, and your advisors or whomever think that your way to get drafted is to shoot every ball, we're not the school for you. We're just not. And that's okay. No problem. Right. I want to schedule that team that you play for because you're going to ruin them. That's how I look at it.
We want to get the NIL from UC Irvine, but we don't want to schedule UC Irvine.
Oh, no.
Got it.
Hell no. You seen him coach? You seen him?
Yeah.
They beat USC last year.
I should have worn my Anteater shirt today.
Did you go there?
No. Hell no. I broke my leg there at USC camp.
I was about to say.
Our producer wore an Oregon hat, though, for you today.
That's real nice of him.
He went down to get you with a...
Told me he was a huge fan. I asked him, was that a minor league hat? He thought I was serious, but I think he's figured out now I was messing with him.
We have Mick Cronin on. There's a great deal of trepidation about what this year, is going to be like in college sports. We just had all the football media days, and it feels wild. We'll talk about the Big Ten and all the stuff that comes with this brand new UCLA hoops team in the very next segment. Cronin said he's good for 2, and he just did 1.
For $1 million, I knew you were going to come out here and ask me about offense.
We're not going to ask about offense.
Let's do it.
Unless you bet $1 million. More to come.
We want to see you on Friday. It is the third stop of the 2024 PMS Summer Tour, July 19th.